Brian Tarian from the Disability Digest. You're about to listen to an excerpt from a conversation that I had with member Patrick from California, who had a long, hard fight to get his disability approved. And through the process, he has learned 6 insights that he shared with us in this conversation. One of which is he used a strategy that we taught him about how to speed up the approval process. We estimate that he slashed about 18 months off of his approval time. So he shares with you what it is, how to do it, when to do it, and we are in hopes that if you are stuck in a long, hard fight with Social Security, that you can use this strategy to get approved faster as well. So, if you like the work that we do here, we sure hope that you do. If you would share this information with others that may benefit from it, if you've learned anything through the process of getting approved that you feel would help others, join us in the comments. We'd love to hear your feedback. Thanks again.
Patrick, any words of advice that you would allow me to share that might relieve some stress for others that are listening or might listen to an audio snippet of our conversation?
Yes, I would be happy to. I have some idea of what I went through that I could share, such as get started, pay attention to what your service is requesting. It's important to get your doctor records, and like you said to me, it's important to get a doctor's note, which I was able to get, which was helpful. And when things start getting tough, because Social Security is tough now than they've ever been, they don't want to give people any of their money, so they're going to fight you tooth and nail. But that's why you're here. And it got down to where I was going to go to the judge's decision, a court date, and I'm, stress sensitive, so I'm freaking out. You're calming me down, saying, "Don't worry, you followed the instructions, you have what you need," and I followed the procedure. And with that being said, one of the things you told me to do was contact my senator, my local senator here in the state, and I did that. And what that did for me is, instead of a floating date for my court date, which had not been nailed down and could be a year in the coming, nailed it down to within 2 months I got a court date. And
isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, and it solved everything. The decision was made, thankfully favorable, because I paid attention to what you folks were telling me to do. And as difficult sometimes it was to do, because, I have issues. But nothing is free and totally easy, but at least it was successful, so pay attention. That's all I can say.
Yeah, that's good advice. So medical records, doctor support, and call in Congress.
Well, when the time is right, and you will guide if and when that time is right.
Right.
Don't just go hodgepodge.
No, that's true. If somebody's just starting the process and they call, it's not going to be as effective. But in your situation, unfortunately, long before we met you, you'd been fighting this. So.
I got a terrible lawyer to start. There's a certain amount of questions to ask a lawyer. I think you gave me in the beginning, and this guy failed, on many of them. But of course, I didn't know at the time. I just went in blindly and picked a lawyer, and yikes, a waste of my time.
Oh, I know.
I wasted like 3 years on him.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
It's interesting, the number of people, Patrick, that have gone just down the street to somebody local because they're a lawyer and handed over their financial destiny for Social Security to it, and the guy's doing, divorce and dog bites and bankruptcy, and oh, by the way, I'll take your disability case.
Yeah. That lawyer actually sat there and looked at me and said, "Gee, I wish I had the blood pressure you have." And my response to him was just intimidation. I should have said to him, "I'm medicated, and I probably don't eat the junk food you eat." But
You kept it under control.
I had, bullying was one of the things I got heavily in my employer for the last few years, fearing for my life, actually. Boys have a story, but that's another story.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Strange people.
Yeah. Well, it's been a pleasure to work with you. I'm delighted that we have gotten you through this process, and I thank you, Patrick, for the words of wisdom that you have shared with us. Hopefully it'll make a difference for others out there.